YouTube, I was thinking about making a video, an update, this being the Kona EV electric. It's a 2020 or 2021 model. Yes, I know the thumbnail shows the 00, but I drove it a little bit since then. An update about maybe downsides, negatives, and why not positives about this car. Um, this car has not been to the dealership till now. We did not needed any kind of update or any fix. But however, and I put it in my channel, and this is true for all Hyundai cars, we had a big issue with the brakes. Maybe I'll link, I don't know if I'll link the videos for that, but at least check in the comment section. I'll put my playlist and search in that playlist about the brakes. The caliper pads, so the pad brakes, get stuck inside the caliper. So it's not the caliper slides that get stuck, it's the pad itself. With very few kilometers, they get crazy stuck, and they start wearing very fast. They will wrap your rotors. Also, the rotors don't wear evenly, so I had to fix that myself. That was the only thing that we had an issue. Other than that, I think it's a nice car. I like it. I like especially that the seats sit quite upright. It's not a low sitting car, so it's easier to get in and out of the car. These are the leather seats, and I do find them comfortable. If you look on my channel, I also drive a Sonata 2015 with leather seats, and those seats in the Sonata are really bad, really stiff. This in the Hyundai Kona are nice, are not very plushy, but are just enough to call them comfortable and fine seats. However, be aware that the lower trims of Kona had fabric seats, and I tried those at the dealership, and those were bad seats. I did not find them comfortable. It's very different than the leather one. Yeah, some people did complain about plastics all around. Plastic there, I don't have a problem with that. It's just for me aesthetical. You do have armrest here. This one on the door, it's fine. Obviously it's going to be the same on my side. However, the center armrest, it's a Korean thing, same in my Sonata. Rock hard. It's really hard. I don't know what they are thinking. Maybe they are made of steel, those Korean people, but they are not. This is not comfortable. It does have this start, park, stop button. I have to say that I'm not a big fan of this configuration. You always need to remember to look, pay attention. Basically, you cannot learn them. You cannot just get completely used to just, push them quickly. You need to remember to look and just pay attention where you are pushing, because it's not logical. Um, Other than that, there are a few weird things. You see, this is the GPS display, and when you are in this display driving to your destination, if you look inside the car, at no place you will see the time, the hour. There's no place where you can see it. Basically, what you need to do is either maybe keep press this and it will turn the screen like this, or what you want to do is maybe go to your home screen, and then you will have the hour. But that's the only place. It's weird. How about the range? Well, the range is fine in warm weather. We are in Canada, and I can tell you that in winter weather we do park the car inside heated garage, but because the car drives outside and the sensor sense the temperature outside, the estimate for the battery, and obviously the battery will just cool too much because of the temperature outdoors. The winter range drops quite a lot. I don't really have numbers for you. Maybe in summertime it's going to be 450. I'm talking kilometers, 450. Winter time is going to drop around 300. But again, the car is being garage. If you keep it outdoors, it's going to drop even more. Basically, in really cold winter days, you should expect on any electric car a drop of up to 40% range and battery, and maybe even more. Maybe I'll explain you a little thing about that battery range in all EV cars, because it's actually just an estimation. One of the weird things is this screen, which have heads up display. It's also driving directions and speedometer. I don't know what to say. I think it's okay, but obviously I don't really use it. I'm most of the time looking here at the display. But what I can tell you is that there are many motors inside, and this thing goes. And I think, yeah, I think it went for the dealership. They had to reset something on this. This is the only thing that happened. But it has many things. It can tilt and so. And what is not good is that this thing goes down and comes up every time you turn off and turn on the car back again, so it doesn't always stay there. So that means it has to work many times when you park and take again the car on the road. So that's going to fail at some point in the future. Is not going to be cheap, but is not a big deal because it's just, I don't know, it's a gimmick to me. Maybe one possible annoyance is this is the display in eco mode, so you have the speed here, but if you switch to normal mode, you actually don't have the digital speed, only like the needle speed, so you cannot put digital speed. And then in the speed mode, or sports maybe I should call it, again you get back the digital speed. But there is one more thing that happens in these three modes. Let me just put it in drive. Now you see, if there is this regeneration thing. So if I switch to eco mode, by default when you start the car it will put you in regen 2, level 2. There is 3 levels basically. You can let's see, do I switch with paddles? This is 1, 2, 3. When you drive in level 3, basically when you lift your foot off the gas pedal, the car really brakes, not to a stop, but brakes strongly. In level 2 it brakes less, in level 1 it brakes a little, level 0 brakes 0. It doesn't brake at all. It's that engine regenerative brake. But the problem is when you start the car in eco mode, let's see, by default you have 2. So if you don't, I personally don't like this kind of driving because it's kind of bumpy and makes me get nausea almost. So I want to drive in 0, but by default it puts you to 2. So every single time when you start the car you need to use these paddles, which looks like shift paddles. These are only for making that regen level, changing that regen level. So this one puts it to 0, drops the regen level. The left one, it's increasing it. So every single time I drive the car and I started in eco mode, I have to pull this right pedal twice to make the level 0 to my like. There is no other way around. Also, if you want in normal mode, it's going to be 1, so you'll have to pull it once and so on. I think in sports mode also it drops to, it puts by default to 1. So this is kind of it, you have to do it every single time you start the car. And also it only works, you can only change it either when you are stopped or you are driving above a certain speed. So again, I don't know, it's quite, it's confusing, all to say. And by the way, the drive mode button is here, is not very easy to see when you drive. You really need to look down here. It's not positioned more ergonomically at another place. Every single review on YouTube on EV cars talks about that enormous torque, that enormous acceleration. Let me just say that in the eco mode, the car drives exactly, and I mean exactly, as a gasoline car. If you push the pedal, it's going to accelerate nice. If you just go normal with the pedal, it's just regular gasoline engine acceleration. So basically you can ask someone to drive this car without telling that person it's electric. That person will not know it's electric unless he really pays attention. There is no noise, there's just very quiet. So if you really want to accelerate with it, put it in sports mode. It has an acceleration more powerful above 30 miles, from 30 to 50 miles per hour or so. But I can tell you that EV cars, you are going to drive them 95% of the time just like any normal car. So the only change is it's electric, so you recharge it, you don't put gasoline, and perhaps it has lower maintenance. because I believe that EV cars, most of the EV cars, in my opinion, just personal opinion, they are perhaps better manufactured than the gasoline cars. Maybe the quality standards are just higher, at least until to now. So maybe then when they are going to get more popular, the car makers are going to drop the quality on EVs. But till now, I think it's a better quality. So yes, pretty much I have to say that the steering feeling is not good. But I think that's a general Hyundai thing. It's just not engaging. It's not that it's kind of feels dead in the center, so it's not sporty in any way. Driving position to me, it's good. I have to say that this glove box for the passenger comes very close to their feet, so it takes quite a bit of space. So the passenger, big person, tall persons, don't feel they have enough leg room. It's quite tight in there for them. There are a few quirks. See, in winter time you have a heat knob and vent fan blower knob. But actually, if you want to get heat in winter time, you also have to press this button. So this is kind of obsession for economy. So you must press on top of it this button to actually get heat. And I have to say that AC and heat are not that strong. So if you are in Arizona or if you are in Alaska, I do not recommend this car for you. Yes, there are the display. This is the ultimate trim, and I think it's the only one that gets GPS. The smaller display don't get it. It's not very easy to navigate through the menus of the Hyundai cars, so be aware of this. And I think I got almost through it. This car does not have that great visibility rearwards, but other than that, it's a small car. It's easy to drive. It's easy to sit in. And yes, it does not feel, of course it's more pricey because it's electric, has nice headroom. I'm pretty tall, 6 feet tall, have no problem with that. Although it costs more money, it's still not a very expensive feeling inside car. It's just like a Kona, which is not an expensive car, but I do like it. And I think it's just the package. It's nice, it works well, it has a good sitting position. Leather seats are good, fabric seats are not good, unfortunately, so that's a choice you have to make. Yeah, it's easy to drive, and it's overall it's not a big car inside, right? So it's not small like the Venue. The Venue is smaller, the dash is closer to you. It's not a big car, but it has quite a good space. Even behind is not that bad. Trunk space is decent for this kind of car. So yes, overall I think it's a different car if you compare it to a Tesla 3, and maybe even to what's the Kia, I don't know what's there is a Kia Niro perhaps. I think it sits a little bit higher than the Niro, and also compared to Tesla it is definitely higher than the Tesla. So older people and not young will like this kind of sitting. Okay, thanks for watching. Any questions, just check the comment section.